I would express my gratitude. My humble pranams to Patriji, who has awakened myself and has been awakening thousands and thousands of masters daily by showering wisdom of soul science concepts and meditation and releasing from barbaric arts and ignorance. Thanks to many of the PSSM masters who has been working in giving wisdom sessions either through back-end work or foreground work, who has just helping thousands and thousands in every place. So I'm here before you to share my own experience on plant-based diet and other principles which I learned and which helped me to transform myself and know my true self. It is just 2.5 years I started my journey into PSSM family, and there are many great masters who can talk better than me on this topic. But when my group was discussing about different topics, I just requested them to assign this topic to me, as I felt I was so much connected, and I thought I can be a good example sharing my own experiences and what I learned. So let me quickly share a little about myself. So I was a meat eater from my family, and I continued that till 2011. In 2011, I had my second baby, and I was experiencing stress with work and family issues, like balancing both of them. So I see so much of emotional issues at that time, and I used to be a big follower of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. So when reading in one book, I came to know that eating meat has a severe impact on emotions. That is where I thought of ending eating meat, and I converted being into a vegetarian. Though I was a vegetarian, I just cooked for my family till mid of 2018 because they all like to eat meat, and like it was all the false belief that was there from my extended families and friends. So in the year late 2017, I was introduced to meditation by PSM masters, and I'm very thankful. It's not one master; there are many masters to thank, to express gratitude. And I came to know one of the core principles of well-being is being a vegetarian. I was amazed by the speeches of Patriji and many masters stressing the importance of plant-based food in every speech. So, not only through masters, I kept reading books, and which whatever spiritual books I read, whatever magazines I read, it has so many articles related to plant-based food and how one has to be compassionate and non-violence towards animals and all living beings. So I'll pause here a moment and talk about non-violence. So, what comes before you when you see the word non-violence? What strikes to your mind? For me, what strikes to my mind is the picture of Gandhi, who is the freedom fighter who brought us freedom through non-violence in India, right? So while I was introspecting, I felt myself so strange because in 9th and 10th grades, we have this huge books in our social studies reading about nonviolence, writing big essays on freedom movement. We just used to read and write. So we just knew the term nonviolent. I don't refer to anybody. I just knew the term nonviolence as like just Gandhi used as a weapon to bring freedom. So I was so surprised at my ignorance. Only when Patriji sir was talking about Gandhi Jayanti, about Gandhi's lifestyle, about the food habits of Gandhi, and about the nonviolence principle in depth, then it struck me. Okay, nonviolence is not only about the freedom to humans; it has to be applied to animals also. So I felt so unkind to have Gandhiji statue in every corner of the village, but like at the same place surrounding, there will be some meat shops conducting all these activities which are against his principles. So yeah. So like every mom, I like every busy mom here, I used to have like frozen nuggets in my fridge to give lunch for my kids, and I used to cook non-veg at least 2 times a week, and I used to have 2 trays of eggs handy in my refrigerator for everything. Eggs are like instant here for us. Like when the kid is hungry or anything, you just do an omelette or breakfast boiling. So it went on like that, and only through this when I gained this wisdom through all these masters, and when I gained this wisdom to all the masters, I introspected myself. I went from my childhood, from my parents, and how I was brought up. Like I was into a very religious family where like we were not eating meat like on some auspicious days or festival days, and like what the Vedas say, what the epics say. So through all this, I thought like. When I felt like the most important thing is changing our lifestyle to by changing to a plant-based diet, I felt disappointed. I felt disappointed. Why? Because why I wasn't being open during my initial years. Why no one has come up and talked to me. In my family itself, there were like my grandmom and my aunt who are vegetarians, but they themselves don't know. They just change it themselves through some religious thing, through their belief. So they can't express like why others should change. So there were it was kind of a disappointment, like why I wasn't taught this nice principle, why I didn't get this wisdom in my before. So realizing that, that became my passion. Like I thought no one should be like me. This principle has to be, this wisdom has to be available to everybody. The principle of compassion and non-violence and meditation, especially to be more receptive, so that one can live happily and healthy, should be brought everywhere, every corner of this globally. So from that time onwards, to whomever I meet, whether my childhood friends or my friends or my colleagues, I would just I end up my conversation bringing meditation and plant-based food into picture. So that is how that was my experience with this topic, and thanks to my family for huge support. And today we all of us spread about meditation and plant-based food to our extended family, friends, and relatives. And would like to share, and we will continue with our presentation. So dear friends, in my presentation, I will be using the term we. We means here I'm not referring to anybody. It is the whole human consciousness I'm referring. Can someone confirm if you can see my screen?
Yeah, Jyotsna. Yes.
We'll start with the famous quote by Patriji. Patriji says like, vegetarianism means converting all beastly humans into humane humans, and meditation is converting all humane humans into divine humans. So both of these steps are needed. So one is from non-violence to non-violence, and that is from non-vegetarianism to vegetarianism, and the other one is from body consciousness to soul consciousness. So this is the famous quote in Bhagavad Gita, and whenever we talk about plant-based food, we use this in quote in. So this is like yuktahara viharasya yukta chetasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. That means one has to be temperate in his habits of eating, sleeping, working, and doing everything, doing all the activities, so that one can be free from his sorrow and attain happiness. So this yuktahara, we are going to talk about it today, and all my slides will be related to that. So these were some of the probing questions which came while I was introspecting myself. So one is like, so today, like we are, even during the COVID times, we are still buying meat and consuming, not knowing if the animal has COVID or other issues. So the same, if a family member is having COVID, we keep them isolated, but like we just buy meat, I don't know. Yeah. And the other thing is, this has striken me during kids parties and social occasions, or any occasion like job promotion or anything. We host a very lavish party. At the same time, there is so much of meat served in the party, where we are responsible for unending tears and pain that animals go through. So where are the true blessings? So we host kids parties for them to be happy, like for everyone to come bless and enjoy together, right? Why at the same time we are being responsible for death also? So and the people who believe in plant-based diet, like either they have come towards some point, have affected them, like while they are reading some autobiographies or any books, they just change instantly to plant-based food. But still, though they are blindfolded and they are carried about the prestige in the society, and they keep serving meat, though against their beliefs. So, in the name of religion, there is so much of slaughter which is happening in India. Um, and most of the pets, yeah, and this one is funny, like most of the pets in our homes are treated with compassion and given so much comfort. Why do we eat other animals or feed our pets, ending their right to live? Aren't they like our pets too? And yeah, so the Thanksgiving time is a big festival in US. Where we spend with family, spreading joy and gratitude for food and everything that we had throughout the year. And at the same time, the poor turkeys are being toasted and decorated on dinner table. And the last one is about my Brahmin friends who are raised as vegetarians, are also ending up in eating meat. So this is a little bit about myself. When I was a non-vegetarian, I had fears, insecurity, criticism. I was always complaining, expecting. I wasn't grounded at all. I always felt, I always felt like I want to live in isolation. So when I was a vegetarian, all these were there. Why do you think so? Because I never had, I didn't have enough receptivity. My mind wasn't free. So it was constantly thinking, and there were so many conflicts going on. So, but when I started slowly into meditation, reading books, changing more towards changing my lifestyle, and towards Sajjan Sangatya, then I felt like when I got the wisdom from the books, when I read the soul concepts that we are eternal. Our soul is living always. I felt fearless. I felt confident. Slowly, I felt grounded, and then there was a lot of introspection which I did, worked on myself, and my journey still continues towards oneness and truth. And I practice non-judgment and no expectations. So, I keep observing when I say this, spreading about vegetarianism, how my friends and others react, and how my family reacts, and I found that these are the common reasons for why we are so resistant to change. One is one is they don't have the knowledge and wisdom, like me, like how I was treating non-violence principle, like from my childhood, and only when Sir came, then like a lightning has struck, like, okay, this has so much in-depth meaning. So that knowledge and wisdom won't be there, and it's just they carried away by the family, society, and the false beliefs, and they are not receptive, and they are in a dual mind state. Like I tell my friends to be a vegetarian, and there will be their families against it, and their friends are meat eaters. So it's kind of a conflict, and they need a push for a change. And this is a very beautiful quote I found. So it's very nice. So these are the few facts about plant-based foods. I'll go over who are called as a breatharians. So there are like 10,000 breatharians on this planet, and there is so much of research done on plant-based food. So much of information available, and like previously, like a few years back, it was still a choice, and now like even the school syllabus they are changing. Like meat, they are not having meat in the textbooks. So in medical science, and there is so much of research done in every field. There is research done, and like it has been proven very effective, even from pregnant women to children to athletes. One of the movie that reflects the second and third point is the Game Changers movie. So it has so many examples, so much of experiences shared, so many facts, so much of research shared by doctors. Yeah, and the other one is like if if we all can turn into plant-based diet, we can cut so much in healthcare cost, and switch to a plant-based economy, right? And this I found it from some other website stating that like 8% per year are increasing towards plant-based diet. And if you see this picture, see there are so many things that just gets affected by changing to a plant-based diet. The climate, the global, the water, the forest, everything gets affected just by changing into a plant-based. So this picture depicts like breatharian and barbarian, we call. So one who is it is all due to unawareness. One who eats whatever comes in his way has no contact with the consciousness, the pranas level and everything. But one, there are friends. I told you there are already. We hear this in Patriji sir's speech saying that there are 10,000 barbarians on this planet. So they are the ones who doesn't have anything, and they are just like us, individuals like us, living and working on their jobs and everything. And there are several breatharian workshops also organized. They organize several breatharian workshops to teach like how to control mind, to teach how to live on a liquid diet eventually, and how to have more prana. We just believe like eating food we get energy. No, that's not the cause. That's not the case. Like even without eating, they are happily and blissfully living connected with the oneness. See, the sattvic food has a little bit of consciousness, and when fruitarian has little more, and then the person who is on liquids has more, and then the person who is just on prana has more. So Jashmuhin and others are examples of breatharians. One of the main principles we already talked about nonviolence is just to be compassionate, non-cruelty to animals. And the other one is peace. By just changing to plant-based diet, we can be in peace with ourselves. When we are in peace with ourselves, we can be in peace with our family, and then we can be peace with our community, with our workplace, and with our world. So that's the most important thing, to just have that peace and calmness within oneself. And feed. So it is estimated that if one meat eater converts to a plant-based diet, so 10 people, 10 hungry people can be fed. That is the amount of resources that are getting that are used to feed these cattle. And also this, so there won't be, if everyone has changed into a plant-based diet, there won't be any hunger in this planet. And the preservation of the earth, that is one of the foremost problem that we are all facing, the global climate change, the deforestation. So it is. I'll give you one quick example. I have a cousin who has done her. She took the environmental science as her primary subject and has done research. So when she submitted her research, so she saw all the global impacts, and from that day she quit eating meat. She turned into a vegan. So she came home crying out, saying that by if in case if it is like this, if the meat eating doesn't reduce and it is like this, by the time her grandkids come, it will be full, like there wouldn't be any forest, there wouldn't be any, all the water, air, everything will be polluted. So people are changing drastically to plant-based food. So we are, as you all know, we are what we eat, and vegetarian food harmonizes body, mind, and emotions, and it helps to all the fruits and sprouts help to strengthen immune system, and the animal fats are not good for us. So if we take the complete overall health, we all want two things in our life, right? To stay healthy and happy. So at all layers, if it is physical, mental, intellectual, spiritual, social, everything, food has so much of impact. By just changing into plant-based diet, we can help our physical health with no disease and no illness, and our mental health with meditation and plant-based diet, we can come out of depression and negative emotions. Similarly, the intellectual, spiritual, and social, layer after layer, we'll be realizing and living in oneness and serving our community. So now coming to PSM vegetarianism, as you all can see, vegetarianism is the foremost grounding principle of PSSM, and Patriji's vision is to see Sakahar Jagat, which means he wants to see the whole planet as going towards plant-based diet. Spreading about vegetarianism is one of the key principle in PSSM. So there are like every master brings this topic in some way or the other. So if you have seen like our masters, our sessions which we had, all the masters brought this topic in their speech. So we are so connected with this principle, and there are thousands of vegetarian rallies organized by PSM masters in India to raise awareness on non-killing, and several wisdom sessions on vegetarianism organized globally. And PSM USA took part in International Vegetarian Convention in the year 2017. Let me show you the pictures of some. So this is Patriji combining both East and West. And here is our team who participated, and there are many others in the team. We just got this photo to upload, who took actively part. And rallies, daily, like hundreds of rallies keep taking place in India, all over the places to spread vegetarianism. So now let's take a minute to know like what Patriji says on mindful eating. So these are the three key principles about eating. Yuktaharam, Muktaharam, and Niraharam, which means the right eating, limited eating, and no eating. Now, what is right eating? Right eating means only eat freshly cooked sattvic food, and food has to be cooked just before eating. And we shouldn't use any microwave or refrigerator to store any cooked food. Refrigerator can be used to store only vegetables and fruits, and microwave, like, it emits transmission, so microwave should not be used. And food should be cooked by vegetarians and meditators. That is the right eating. So limited eating is like not carried away. Just eating how much ever we want. Eat only according to need, and there has to be some space left in our tummy. Like, we shouldn't fill it completely. That is called limited eating. And being with more in eating more sprouts, more fruits and vegetables, and no eating. 1 day fasting has to be done in a week. That is at least 1 day. I'll go over this very quickly. And this is one important thing. Like, we get now, like, there is so much of controversy going on why we shouldn't eat egg. So many websites and in people mind, like, egg is like a vegetarian, and why shouldn't we eat garlic and mushroom? So, my dear friends, egg is not a, a vegetarian product. Egg is a menstrual product of the chicken. So even though it is unfertilized, it remains as death. So any non-living thing has like zero prana, and there won't be any energy consumed with that when we consume that. So and there is so much of research on egg, and it is proven like so many health issues related to cholesterol, heart disease, and certain types of cancer are all related to egg. And garlic. This is the garlic. If you see, it increases Arishad qualities. That is like anger, aggression, ignorance, anxiety. All these qualities get increased when consumed garlic. There is a nice story shared by one of our master. We will pass in the groups, like why we shouldn't eat garlic, explained by Ravana Maharshi to some sadhaka. And it promotes Rajoguna characteristics, attachment and desire. That is the reason, like many ISKCON or like PSSM, anywhere we say like no, not to eat garlic. And my close friend experienced this. She stopped garlic for a while and observed her kids' behavior. And when I talked to her over the phone, she was completely agreeing. Yes. And mushrooms are not plants, my dear friends. They are fungus and does not undergo photosynthesis. I had a family when I first came into US. They ate mushrooms, and all of the family were hospitalized because they got food poisoning just through mushrooms, and they were in emergency for 2-3 days. So yeah, they are just fungus, and you don't get anything out of them. I told 1 day fasting by Patriji. So in medical science, one of the Japanese scientists, Dr. Oshinori Oshumi, he won the Nobel Prize in 2018 for his research on autophagy. So this is autophagy means to self-eat. So we all have some cells which are bad cells and damaged cells in the body. So through fasting, what happens to these damaged cells is they get consumed by themselves. Means they just die out of themselves. So when we give sugars or any other thing, they just have a chance to live. So if you want, like, you can just type this autophagy in Google and you can see more about his research. So 1 day fasting is recommended. Lankanam Parama Aushadam, we say. So I also put in the snacks, like in it happens that, like, we spend so much of time, especially me after changing to a vegan and vegetarian. But if I go to the store, I spend so much of time reading the labels for anything, for any products which I'm not supposed to eat. So most cheese has rennet in it, and gelatin is used in most of these products, and fish oil is used in milk. If you see omega-3, there comes the fish oil in the ingredients. And the red color comes from carmine, which is made up from insect. I'll take a minute to go over this. So I heard in many masters' speech during animal kingdom, what happens is like it's an evolution of consciousness, right? So all the meat-eating animals, they keep evolving. So at some stage, they keep evolving into non-meat-eating animals. Like that would be their last stage, like elephants and monkeys or anything which is a herbivore, and from there they evolve into humans. So when we and like the one of the good principle is what you give is what you get, and we involve in meat eating, and we don't evolve ourselves, and we are cutting the right of that animal to evolve further. So two things are happening. We are just stuck there with our karmic activity of not evolving to a higher state on what we are, and we are also stopping the animal. Like it has like couple more years to live, so we are also stopping the evolution of it, and it also has to take birth, and we also have to take again birth for our own learning. So my dear friends, so our human consciousness should start evolving to the next stage. So this happens when we change to plant-based diet, when we meditate, when we stay in oneness, and when we realize everything. So this is one of the beautiful principle, non-interference. I won't take much time about talking all the kingdoms. We already talked about animal through non-killing, eating plant-based food, and no leather products. No leather products. I'll talk you in a while. If we think if we are not killing animals, that alone would be enough. No, my dear friends. If we are having like 4 to 5 pretty handbags made of leather, so that involves that means we are involved in non-killing. So most of the animals' leather is used for making the handbags, leather sofas, and everything. So we just fantasized by the way they look. It doesn't advertise anywhere, right? There is leather in it. So through lack of awareness, we just buy them and use them. There is so much of research done by one of our great master in pattu saris. Pattu saris are made from silkworms, and it is a devastating process where the silkworms are boiled in hot water and extracted silk, and then the final pattu saris come out of it. Yeah, you can watch that video and see an amazing research and how she presented her, and there are many who doesn't go for South Indian pattu saris because of that act. And no, one day I just got out from my meditation, and there was this guy knocking my door. It was the pesticide guy. Then I thought, like, okay, why the spiders and fire ants should be killed? From that day, I said no to pesticides also. And by doing all this by first changing ourselves to plant-based diet, and with meditation we can also be in non-interference with the human kingdom and the plant kingdom. Like the deforestation won't be happening, and when we will, it all comes with awareness, it all comes with meditation, it all comes with receptivity. And then if we take the mineral kingdom, so much of harmful chemicals are being used. I know we really love diamonds, but for this, so much of slavery of kids under age 15, they just they are just used for digging out the diamonds in South Africa. And these are the precious metals used in electric cars, the cobalt, nickel, and lithium. So these are earth rare metals, and these like 40,000 kids below 15, age 15, are used in Congo to hand dig all this all these animals, all these minerals. So we think like, oh, we invented electric cars with non and we prevent CO2 emissions, but there is so much of deforestation done, harmful chemicals used, so much in non-interference with the human kingdom and as well as the environment. uh, there is so much happening behind the back. So this is the one which I pulled from one of the very famous leather leather handbag company. So what they are stating is like, we take care of animals, we treat them with respect, we transport them well. At the end, like, we slaughter them, we slaughter them without pain and use all that all their leather for making handbags. So my dear friends, please give a thought. Is it necessary to have the fancy handbags with all the animals suffering and everything? And do you really believe that animals are really happy giving their life themselves for our handbags? And this is the picture of kids working in the mines. And this is the deforestation rate in 2019. It is this much. And this one I kept it because, like, it is when we are sharing about vegetarianism or plant-based food, it is hard to convince the infant souls. Infant souls. So infant souls are like the primary stage of evolution. I know we are all mature souls, so with maybe raising our consciousness and awareness, we can slowly have them also turned into plant-based diet. But don't get disappointed when someone doesn't agree with what you are sharing. That happened with me. So you just feel like there are many others like you who want your knowledge and wisdom. Don't resist yourself from sharing. So the finally, should we share about plant-based food? Yes, my dear friends, I'm here before you all talking so boldly because I listened to many of the masters sharing their own experiences on PMC channel or like in their wisdom speeches to be a vegetarianism. So be brave and share. Sharing is caring. And every pyramid master shares about non-violence and plant-based diet. So when I talked to Patriji like about this plant-based diet, he told in West it is more important to spread meditation so that they realize there would be some receptivity in them and they would eventually convert to a plant-based diet. And people learn from our experiences. So if you have something that changed through plant-based diet, feel free and open and feel free to share. So what helped me during this process is be meditating for longer time and being receptive and be brave and being brave and positive to face challenges and walk against false beliefs. So though my husband has changed with less, my family has changed into plant-based diet with less effort. I had few challenges from my extended family with so many questions. So I was just being positive because I deep down in my heart I believed this is the best choice and whatever I am doing is good. Sometimes I would answer them, sometimes I would be in silent. So that is what is more necessary, and there has to be no mind act. Sometimes our mind says like, "Oh, are you doing right? Are you getting enough protein?" So saying to the decision what you think is important is more important, and listen to others experiences. There are many experiences from masters who helped themselves, who cured themselves from cancer and other diseases just with plant-based diet and meditation. So read books and stay connected with high spirited souls, and just practice these two principles of non-interference and non-judgment. And this is a good website to visit to know like what more about vegan products. So connecting to nature is one of the important thing. It is 3 times nature meditation is 3 times more powerful. Try to walk barefoot, hug trees whenever you get chance. This helps with grounding, and do hiking, nature walk, trekking. um, Everything helps. So these are the few movies to watch. This is very nice movie available on YouTube itself, the Earthing movie. And the Game Changers I watched in Netflix, a very good movie and must watch movie. And these two are also nice movies that bring the secrets behind um, slaughter and other things. So thank you so much for listening to this session, for being here with us today.
Yeah. Thank you, Jyotsna. It was such a wonderful wisdom session. It was really heart-touching. Excuse me. You have beautifully explained the benefits and effects of the plant-based food. You have done a great research on providing us various facts and the statistics. Masters, I think we should definitely take an oath to follow and adapt each principle as we go. So thank you so much. So friends, let's take questions. Okay, so we have Yogini. Yogini, please turn on your video.
So I'll just ask question.
Okay.
Yeah. So just yesterday I was just thinking about this. These days, after joining in a journey, I'm only liking to to be inside, and then not feeling like eating or not feeling like sleeping. Just want to just meditate and not even feeling hungry or having the passion to eat. But I'm enjoying it, and I'm very energetic as well. I'm playing with baby and stuff. So, and yesterday I was thinking just, okay, there are many yogis who did this, and maybe they had some problem, maybe the health. So Vivekananda also says, okay, you have to take care of health and also, this one. So both you need to maintain. Also, we follow middle path, right? So then I was thinking if someone could, explain me about what to just eat without, much affecting of our tamas or rajas or all these. So finally, today you have explained this greatly, and thank you very, very much. I would like to know more about the Niraharam. And then other question is, if I now want to follow a diet, which is like just a minimal, like where I can cover all vitamins and proteins just for my physical level to keep it healthy, because I need to look after, the family, right? So can you please help me some veg diet? Even it can be just a fruits diet, or just like I should cover like proteins and vitamins. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogini. Beautiful question. Yeah, that was a beautiful experience, and you have to listen from your inner, whatever comes with you. If you feel like meditating more, you have to continue with it. Soon we will be sharing some document which has like what the the contents of vitamins in plant-based food. So you can refer to that for plant-based food. And one thing which I would suggest to all is in meditation, see how are the breatharians living without vitamins and without minerals. So we have to be positive always. Like we have to think that we are um, that positive mindset will make things like we whatever food we eat, the sattvic food will give us enough vitamins and minerals, and we can know more about ourselves when we do meditation. Yeah, whatever you're doing is great, and we will soon be sharing that presentation with you. So it has that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jyotsna. I think I would like to add one point to it. So when you're meditating, you take so much of energy into you, and that's my personal experience. You don't really need so much of food to eat. So you're already activating all your cells, which you do it by taking food. Yeah. So next, Satish Katta. Yes, sir. If you can turn on your video.
Namaste, madam. I am Satish. My question is, I do follow vegetarianism from the past 20 years, I would say. But my family member, suppose like my wife or mother, they are more interested in putting garlic. How can we convince them to say, please don't use garlic in food?
It should come out of love. So I noticed this. So when I started talking about vegetarianism, I introspected and checked myself. I was kind of demanding and expecting everyone to convert. So I had an incident last week where one of my close friend's son's birthday. So I didn't wish him anything, but I just passed the love based emotion. I just wished him through my heart, and I wished like he's such a small kid, he would change to plant based diet and realize his inner self and be serviced and realize his true purpose. So then after in the evening she get a message like, what have you done? Today my son refused to eat any meat. He asked me to cook only vegetarian food. Then I realized, okay, our only love and our thoughts also have so much going on with the energies. So it all depends on what energies and what thoughts we send. Yeah, eventually they will soon convert. But you can start making small attempts. Talk lovingly to them, like, why do you believe garlic is not good? Bring out, do yourself the research of the garlic. And seeing Patriji always says like. Seeing us, everyone should get affected. So we have to, that energy should be within us, which will help and motivate others. Nice question. Thank you.
Yeah. So next. Okay, let's go. Shruti Gunda.
Hi, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, Shruti.
Hi. Yeah, actually, few of my family members are non-vegetarians. So when I ask them to stop that and become a vegans, they kind of get into an argument saying that there is life even in plants and everything on earth is made for the humans to enjoy. They say even the soul in plants is not visible. They say then even eating plants is also not a good thing. How do I answer them?
So, Shruti, I faced similar challenges, but eventually I learned is the non-interference principle. So, Patriji always says, just say and leave it. So don't take
Okay.
whatever comes from them. When we can share all the research and still they are talking like that, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't take any energy from them. So when their time comes, they will surely change.
I was able to change my daughter, but not my other family members. She doesn't, even if her friends or anybody ask her to take meat, also she refuses. But few of my family members are very strict on that, and they're ready to meditate. They say without giving up non-veg, we are okay to meditate. Is that okay for them to do
Yes,
meditation
yes,
and
that is what Patriji says. Like when they do meditation, they are more receptive to what we say. They are more connected with the oneness and energy. So slowly they'll be breaking one by one. So that was like Patriji's suggestion. Make them sit into meditation, and then they themselves will turn into vegetarians, or like they'll be receptive to master speeches and wisdom about plant-based food.
okay. So, taking milk and paneer and all the milk products also considered as violence, or are we supposed to stop that either when we're not supposed to eat cheese? It's just my thought
I Yeah,
when I
my
listen
kids
to.
still love curd, so I still give them curd. It all
Okay,
depends on personal choice. Yes, you have to know from the source from where the milk has come. I know, like mostly in US and India, the cows are tortured to give milk
yeah, to give
and
them
other
milk, yeah.
products. That is the
Hmm.
reason, like most of us shift from having the dairy products to, but it will come into yourself. You will feel that. When you feel that feeling in yourself, then you can change.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next, Bhargav.
Ma'am,
Yes,
we
sir.
can-
ma'am,
We can
ma'am,
hear
I am
you.
vegetarian. I am vegetarian, ma'am. But sometimes I eat mushrooms. I don't know whether it is. I think it is vegetarian, but some people are telling it is non-vegetarian. How can I overcome it, ma'am, to stop eating a mushroom?
Yeah, mushrooms are fungus and they don't have any energy. They are not plants, they are not animals. When there is no prana in them, it is no point eating them. So it's better we stop mushrooms.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Next, Madhavi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Joe. It was a wonderful session. My question here is about the supplements. Generally, we in US have a vitamin D3 deficiency and B12 deficiency. So the other day when I was taking a supplement, I was wondering, is taking supplement okay in general, being a meditator, and as well as in the inner journey process, which is going to start in a couple of days, is taking supplements okay? That's my question. Thank you.
Yeah, I see many masters sharing their experiences, how they helped themselves from cancer itself. So these, even the supplements, I believe, are like the placebo, are having the placebo effect. So from my viewpoint, we can stay healthy and happy by meditating more and staying in awareness rather than depending on all the supplements. But it depends on on our stages. So if you feel like you need some supplements, yeah, please go ahead and take.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madhavi.
Next, Geetika Mantrwadi.
Hi, hi Jyotsna. It was a wonderful session. My question.
Yes, Geetika. I guess you are muted.
Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yes.
Hi Jyotsna. It was a wonderful session. Thank you for sharing. So my question is something different to what everybody has asked. My question is like, I have read in Sai Baba Satcharitra that everyone should follow their own sampradaya. So what do you have to say about that? Like there will be meat eating people, there will be, some other people who don't eat by their birth. So what do you have to say about it?
See, today it is affecting globally, right? There are meat-eating people, but at the same time, they're affecting me also because there is so much of pollution in the environment and water, right? So when I am being affected, I have the right to speak. So that is how I view it: the right to speak and share and let them know, like it's it's we have to be compassionate and bring the principle of compassion and the global warming and everything. Did I answer your question?
Geetika is on mute. Okay.
So those are yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Geetika. Did I answer your question?
Jyotsna, I think Geetika is on mute. Okay, let's take
Okay.
the next.
Yeah, Jyotsna, yes, it has answered my question. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
I was unable to unmute and then I've been chatting. So thank you.
Yeah, next, Sai Kirti Shri.
Hi, Jyotsna. So I just wanted to ask, like, how can we shift to liquid diet? Like, I'm used to fasting for a day or two, but I wanted to know how can we shift to a liquid diet?
That's very good question, Sai Kirtistri, because when I was doing this presentation, I know sometimes I try this nirahara on full moon days, but lately I observed myself, and from two months I didn't do any fasting. Okay, I'm going to present. I came across this wonderful principle, no eating. I have to do myself. I thought I have to do myself and then present. Then I thought, okay, from now on, let me try fasting one day in a week. So I made up my mind strong the previous day, and but I was on liquids, and I had a banana and some orange the whole day. So listen to your body first. Your body is a great master. Listen to your inner self first. Sometimes, sometimes we eat food more. Sometimes we eat food less. So in this inner journey program also, we are told like listen to ourselves.
Yeah, true. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
I can give you one small experience of mine when I was trying to do a liquid diet. I usually do this during Navratri. I only be
Yeah.
on 9 days just liquids. So the lemon and honey water really helps. And when I'm energetic throughout the day, just twice or thrice I take, really good. You can try it.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, actually, when I'm planning for the same Navratri days itself, because they say it's good for the meditation, right? The feminine energies are more during that time. So I was just planning for the same liquid diet during that time. But yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Is there any process to, how we move to that?
So Nikita, it is already 5. Should we invite Pratima for the meditation? And we can
Maybe
take.
just one last question and we can move, I think. We just have one hand. Okay, just ask. Radhika, quickly if you can share.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Radhika.
Thank you, Jyotsna ji, for such a wonderful presentation. I actually had a question about the fact where you shared about uh, the animals transitioning to human beings. Just a second. Am I audible clearly right
Yes,
now?
Radhika, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so so while you were sharing about the animals transitioning to human, so I had certain contradictory thoughts there, and I wanted to clear my doubts. So when I read this book by Robert Schwartz, that is Your Soul's Gift, which is recommended by Patri sir himself. So in that book, while there's this chapter where it is all about animals and animal communication. So where this particular person is in conversation with the animal soul, and she's sharing her entire journey. So where the animals, the pets, or whoever has been in the journey, because they're all energy beings and they're very conscious. So they share that they do not take human form until unless absolutely necessary, because they are already very evolved. They're very evolved than any of us, in that because we have to come to take our lessons and we make that blueprint and all of that, but animals don't have to do that. So they choose if they have to take the human life. So while you were sharing, everything was absolutely impeccable and beautiful. So I just got that contradictory thought. So I wanted to just clear my doubt. So if animals have to transition to the human form, but after reading that book, I believe it's not absolutely necessary. So if you can, throw some light on that question, that contradiction, basically.
Thanks, Radhika. It might be true that I didn't read that book or I didn't hear Patriji. I was in a belief that like the evolution of consciousness takes like that from mineral to plant to animal and then human to suprahuman. So it might be true when the animals are so pure and they don't want to take any human form, they might attain mukta. They might attain liberation. So I have to go back and check. And thanks for sharing that wisdom here.
Thank you, Jyotsna. I think all of us can maybe do some research, because you were impeccable in your entire presentation and the facts were absolutely bang on. I am myself a turned vegetarian. Not that I was too much into consuming meat, but obviously it did change my life around 10 years ago. So absolutely, we should all do some research on this. We all can do this homework. Thank you so much, Jyotsna, for your beautiful sharing today. Thank you.
Radhika, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Radhika.